Bills are difficult to pass. This is particularly true when the House of Representatives and the Senate are controlled by different political parties. The 112th Congress was the least productive by far since the end of World War II. Some have even called it a do-nothing Congress. Many attribute Congress's lack of activity to partisan gridlock. Some people argue that the parties are too polarized. They are so far apart on issues that they can't come together to find solutions. Other people feel that the representatives in Congress should stick to their campaign promises. Should representatives from different parties come together and compromise more often?
You need to compromise at times to get certain things done.
They should definitely compromise. Their campaign promises are made, presumably, ideally, based on the assumption that they believe at that time that that was the best thing for their people. But if new information comes to light, then they should simply change their stance and make the right decision. Winston Churchill once said it is better to be right than to be consistent.
Some people believe that our parties should compromise to serve the best interests of the nation. Although representatives may make specific promises on the campaign trail, they may discover new facts that change their mind, or new developments may occur that change the situation. In these cases, some people believe that the representatives should act for the greater good, because they aren't that different. Moreover, if legislators don't come together, especially in a crisis, that's bad for the country. In a system based on the separation of powers, unwillingness to compromise just isn't pragmatic. Nothing will get done. Other people, however, disagree. Let's listen to their arguments.
I think ideology is a very powerful force in American politics today, perhaps more than it should be if we consider the pragmatic outcome of taking ideological stands. But on certain issues, like you said, on abortion, I think compromise should be avoided, I think, simply because it pleases no one. Those that believe that women should have, for example, a right to their bodies and decision to what to do with their bodies won't be satisfied if there exists some sort of conditional in that position. I think it's a very difficult issue that requires a lot of examination, but in the end, one must come to either side of the line. So I think compromise is sometimes necessary simply because of the constraints of reality, but the hope is that compromise can be avoided for more clear stands, I think.
Some people object to compromise. They argue that legislators should represent the views and interests of the people who select them. So when they make promises, they have an obligation to at least try to fulfill them. In addition, the public is so deeply divided on some issues that compromise solutions please no one. Take, for example, the issue of abortion. Some people would argue that there is no middle ground. Either abortion is legal or it is not. In the summer of 2011, the country approached its statutory debt limit. Congress was unable to reach an agreement on whether or not to raise the limit. The U.S. government's credit rating was downgraded. This raised the price that taxpayers have to pay for interest on federal bonds. It also increased uncertainty in the financial markets. So, the inability of Congress to compromise had a very real negative impact on Americans. Given this precedent, should Americans advocate for compromise? What will happen if legislators don't reach agreements? Will this hurt or help our democracy?